Hello, mites, and welcome to some Creepypasta reading with the one and only Evil Hazard. Now, I know this has been the first episode of my high series. Now, before we start, what happened to Miss Australia, you might ask? Well, let's just say that he knows this place, and dark years of evil have been commanded under Evil Hazards. And today, my lovely mites of victims, we shall read the creepypasta, Angry Sylvester. But as you might not know it, Evil Hazard just hates to waste his time. He has more souls to collect, including yours. So I gotta quit wasting your time any further. Now I shall begin the reading of Angry Sylvester. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you remember watching Looney Tunes as a kid, so do I. My favorite character was Sylvester the cat, until one night back in the summer of 1998, I saw an episode that frightened me, but since the cartoon played at late night when I should have gone to bed, I was half asleep, so I only remember parts of it, like a creepy TV in Sylvester's room that turned on all by itself. I thought maybe it was just a nightmare. Sadly, it wasn't. 1 year later, the next summer, me and my brother were bored on an afternoon, so we decided to watch the TV. We flicked the Cartoon Network. It was the time when Looney Tunes was starting. They played 2 normal episodes of Sylvester. Nothing special except for one thing. When the second part was coming to its end, me and my brother felt like something wasn't right. We thought it might show that rather certain episode once again, and it happened. Angry Sylvester. The episode didn't have the same intro like most of the Looney Tunes cartoons had. Hear the catchy title music. It just skipped right into the title screen. It didn't even fade. Just switched right there. There was no title written on the screen. It just showed the living room of the house. It looked like it was drawn entirely, with only 2 colors. Blood red and black as emptiness. There wasn't any music there either. The only sound that could be heard during this part was a woman saying "Rectify." The creepy thing about it was that it was in our country's native language, Hungarian. This happened way before CN started broadcasting in our country's native language, and it sounded like the announcer was strangled by somebody. Then the episode started. Once again, it didn't fade to the beginning, just went right there. It showed Sylvester standing in front of something that looked like a military base. There wasn't any music or sound here either, just dead silence. Sylvester also didn't look like he did in the other cartoons. He looked bruised and badly beaten. His eyes had no pupils. He didn't say anything, he just looked really angry. The next scene, he entered the military base. It was empty, no guards or soldiers were there. But Sylvester still entered and he wanted to get revenge on the people for what they did to him. So he decided to sabotage the military base by destroying all the lights hanging from the ceiling. The scene also looked very disturbing. While Sylvester was tearing down the lights, his claws grew into a ridiculous size, and they were covered in blood and oil. The only sound that could be heard during the scene was the sound of sparkling electricity, which also sounded very loud and frighteningly realistic. The scene was also flashing rapidly, making it look even more scary and also dangerous. The people were served from ellipse. The same scene also repeated itself 10 times until it cut to the next scene. In the next scene, Sylvester was at home, however, Granny, Tweety, or Hector were nowhere to be found. He was all alone. His room also looked empty and scary. The floor was blood red and the walls looked like they were on fire. The room contained 2 tables, a large one that had something that looked like a toy Dalek and a screwdriver on it, and a smaller one that had Agent TV on it. There was also a window in the background, but its beams were misangled, so it looked like an inverted crucifix. Also outside was just pitch black. Not even was like night outside, but like if there was really no existence outside that window. So Sylvester proceeded to repair the toy Dalek. the screwdriver, and suddenly the TV on the smaller table behind him turned on by itself. The TV showed an extremely creepy cartoon. Background music sounded like something was randomly banging an electric guitar, and the recording was reversed and played back that way. It started showing a forest with a cartoony moon above it, and with an extremely creepy look on its face. A few seconds later, it switched to a long room. The room was empty, but something could be heard lurking at the end of the room, and it made a really creepy metallic thumping sound with every step it made. A few seconds later, it switched to the other end of the room. Porky Pig was standing there, also looking angry. He was holding a pistol in his hand, but he did not look bruised like Sylvester did. He said something to the monster at the other end of the room. It fired his gun a few times. After that, it went to static. A few seconds later, a really loud bang was heard. The screen faded to red. A few seconds later, the red screen faded back to Sylvester in his room, sitting next to a wreckage of his TV. He looked even more angry and even more bruised, and his eyes were blood red this time. The creepy image of angry Sylvester stayed on the screen for about 10 seconds. Then it just went back about half a minute later. Cartoon Network came back with a normal coming up next screen. Ooh, this turned out really extremely creepy. Because I have seen Angry Sylvester for the rest of my life, but Nightmare Moon decided that she does not want to watch it. So, if I have seen Angry Sylvester, I scared him for that. So, it appears that I will end the episode here. So, I'll be cuddling with Nightmare Moon, and we'll hunt the others till next time. So don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to catch another of my stories, my lovely monster victims.